Women out there who are in relationships and they're not healthy to get away. I have so many memories of her.
Video from inside a Metro Atlanta convenience store. Look at this. Police say a woman's ex-boyfriend shot and killed her in the store.
She walked into a gas station to grab something quick. 16 minutes later, she was dead on the bathroom floor, shot by the man who used to share her home. Her name was Tia Keith. She built a business from nothing. She had a father who called her his world. And on one Thursday night in July, all of that ran out in the parking lot of a small convenience store in Hall County, Georgia. This is what happened to her, and the week-long hunt for the man who did it. Tia Vidon Keith was 44 years old, living in Oakwood, Georgia. She wasn't just getting by, she owned something. A hairstylist, a braider, a loctician. She'd built her own salon and her own name in the business. She moved to the area right after high school with one goal: make something of herself. And she did. People who sat in her chair didn't just leave as clients. They left as family. That's how the people around her describe her. Kind, vibrant, hardworking, generous. The kind of woman who was always chasing the next goal. Her father, Victor Keith, called her his daddy's girl, said she was the light of his life, the center of his world. Her cousin, Charlotte Sosby, said Tia always had a plan to excel, a plan to make the family proud. And by every account, she did exactly that. That's the woman who walked into the Subhanallah Food Mart on Mountain View Road that night, just picking something up, nothing more. Here's what the public record does not give us: a documented history. No police reports, no restraining orders, no prior incidents have been released about what happened between Tia Keith and her former live-in boyfriend before that night. What we do know is this: 45-year-old Antwane Thurmond, also of Oakwood, wasn't a stranger. He wasn't some random man in a parking lot. He was someone who had shared a home with her, someone she had let that close.
To a news alert in Hall County, we're getting a look at the surveillance video of a shooting in a convenience store. Investigators say a woman was shot and killed last night by her former live-in boyfriend. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Hall County tonight. Denise, investigators have just given you more details about what happened there.
Yeah, that's right. Investigators tell me that a woman had stopped at the store to buy something, and when she came out, her former boyfriend was in the passenger seat of her car and shot her multiple times. She managed to get out of the car and run back into the store.
Surveillance video from the convenience store on Mountain View Road in Hall County shows a woman running into the store. A second later, a man with a gun bursts in and starts shooting. The owner of the store says the woman was initially shot in the parking lot.
I think already shot one outside, then she running on the store, and he's following on the back.
He was shooting all the way.
Exactly.
Hall County Sheriff's investigators say Tia Keith's former boyfriend initially shot her after jumping into the passenger seat of her car that was parked outside the store. Tia ran into the store to escape, but the man went after her, shooting her multiple times. Investigators say he then left in her car. They have not released his name, but family members say Tia had a boyfriend who she was trying to break up with.
She was in a relationship that she was trying to exit from. I want to tell women out there who are in relationships and they're not healthy to get away.
Charlotte Sosby is Tia Keith's cousin.
I have so many memories of her.
Sosby says Tia had her own hair salon in Gainesville. She hopes all her customers, friends, and those that never got the chance to meet her remember the bright, kind person Tia was.
Remember her heart, the kind of person that she was, her sense of humor, that she was a sweet person.
Investigators say at this time the shooter is not in custody. Family members hope he is caught soon. Reporting live in Hall County, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Heart certainly breaks for the victim's family. Denise, thanks so much.
And on the night of Thursday, July 16th, 2026, sometime after 9:30 p.m., while Tia was inside that store making her purchase, Thurmond was already outside, either waiting for her or making his move toward her SUV. No motive has ever been released, not by police, not by prosecutors, not by anyone close to the case. What we're left with is this: a woman who ran a business, made a plan, and built a life, walking back to her car that night with a man already inside it, waiting. What happens next was caught on camera. All of it. 9:30 p.m., Thursday, July 16th. Tia pulls into the Subhanallah Food Mart on Mountain View Road, Hall County, just outside Gainesville. She goes inside, makes her purchase. Ordinary stop, nothing more. She walks back out to her SUV. Shin Thurmond is already there. Sitting in the passenger seat, nobody said publicly how long he'd been in that car, or how he got in. What's known is this: the moment she's back inside that vehicle, he opens fire. Multiple shots, while they're both still sitting in the car. She's hit, but she's not done. Tia gets herself out of that SUV and starts running, straight for the store, straight for help. He goes after her. The store owner, Farouk Khan, said the cameras caught the whole thing. Thurmond chasing her down, firing as he moves. She makes it inside, runs toward the bathroom area. And that's where she goes down. He stands over her, fires again, several more rounds. She dies right there, on the floor of that convenience store. There was a clerk inside. One customer, neither one of them got hit. The clerk got down behind the counter and called 911 around 9:40 p.m., 10 minutes. That's how fast it went from a normal Thursday night to a homicide scene. Thurmond didn't stick around. He got in his own vehicle and left before deputies could get there. Hall County Sheriff's deputies and Oakwood police rolled up within minutes. Didn't take long for investigators to figure out. This wasn't random. This was targeted.
Folks, we got some breaking news to talk about. The Hall County Sheriff's Office says a man is on the run accused of killing his former girlfriend outside of a Oakwood convenience store. We had this as breaking news on 11 Alive News Friday at 11. Investigators said that they've tracked his movements for days, but now they're asking for your help, the public's help. Hall County Sheriff investigators are now searching for 45-year-old Antwane Thurmond, wanted on murder and aggravated assault charges in the July 16th shooting death of 44-year-old Tia Keith at a food mart on Mountain View Road. Deputies have recovered a vehicle tied to the case, and the search in Metro Atlanta, a home there as well. He has a prosthetic lower left leg, walks with a slight limp, and is considered armed and very dangerous. So anyone who sees him should call 911 immediately.
Over the following days, Hall County's investigators, patrol units, and their warrant service unit start working the case, tracking everywhere Thurmond might have gone. They find the vehicle he used to run. They hit a home in Metro Atlanta with a search warrant, pull some evidence out of it, but Thurmond himself, it gone. Investigators believed he was moving around fast, switching locations to stay ahead of them. They didn't even know what vehicle he might be using at that point. Around July 19th, 3 days after the murder, police go public, release the details. Antwane Thurmond, 5'9", around 212 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Multiple tattoos, including one that stood out, right on his neck, reading Romans 12:19. Word online also circulated that he had gold teeth, tattoos covering his body, and that he'd used the alias Terry Cooley. He also had a prosthetic lower left leg and walked with a noticeable limp. Police labeled him armed and dangerous. The warrants were already signed: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault under the Family Violence Act. The Hall County Sheriff's Office started pushing updates out on Facebook. The timeline, his description, one clear message: if you see him, do not approach. Call 911.
Hall County investigators need your help finding this man accused of shooting his ex-girlfriend inside a convenience store. Investigators say the shooting was caught on the store's surveillance camera. Antwane Thurmond is now wanted on charges of malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault in connection with the death of Tia Keith. Now, so far, investigators have recovered the car that Thurmond was believed to be driving and searched the Metro Atlanta home, but he is still on the run at this hour. Investigators say Thurmond has multiple tattoos, including one on his neck reading Romans 12:19. He also has a prosthetic lower left leg and walks with a slight limp. Thurmond is considered to be armed and dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him. Call 911. And if you or anyone you know is experiencing domestic violence, there is help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available. It's available 24/7. That number on your screen right there, 1-800-799-SAFE, or you can text START to 88788. Advocates are waiting to help.
Local outlets picked it up fast. Fox 5 Atlanta, WSB TV, 11 Alive, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Atlanta News First, Now Georgia. Surveillance stills from inside the store that night went public too. By July 22nd, the case had grown big enough that the FBI's Safe Streets Task Force out of Gainesville stepped in to help.
Right now at 7:02, we are entering day 5 in the search for a man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend inside a Hall County convenience store. The suspect remains out of sight this morning and on the run. Our Stephanie Haynock following the newest developments this morning from the Hall County Sheriff's Office. So, Steph, what do you know at this hour?
Yeah, good morning, Jonathan. So we do know investigators, they want everyone to be on the lookout for Antwane Thurmond. They say that he shot and killed his ex-girlfriend last Thursday. Take a look at your screen, get a look. Thurmond is described as 5'9", around 212 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Police say that he has multiple tattoos, including Romans 12:19 tattooed across his neck. Hall County Sheriff's Office releasing additional images of Thurmond inside the convenience store on Mountain View Road on July 16th. They say he does have a prosthetic lower left leg and that he walks with a limp. According to deputies, 44-year-old Tia Keith had just returned to her car outside the store when Thurmond, who investigators say was waiting inside her vehicle, allegedly opened fire. Investigators say Keith then ran into the store, but that Thurmond followed her inside and shot her again before leaving. She did not survive. Now, investigators found the vehicle that Thurmond fled the scene in, but say they're not sure what vehicle he may be traveling in at this time. They do say, though, if you do see him, if you recognize him, don't approach him. Instead, call 911 immediately. Live here in Hall County, I'm Stephanie Haynock. Jonathan, back to you.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the Georgia Department of Community Supervision joined the search as well. Online, crime accounts and local journalists kept the case moving. Bolo alerts, close-ups of that neck tattoo, updates on the manhunt. People online weren't shy about calling it what it looked like: cold and senseless. Some coverage brought up the domestic violence angle directly, pointing people toward resources like the National Domestic Violence Hotline. 1 week, that's how long Thurmond stayed out there.
Sir, tonight, one of Metro Atlanta's most wanted is finally locked up after being on the run for a week. Antwane Thurmond was wanted for murder out of Hall County, accused of killing his ex-girlfriend. And this afternoon, local and federal authorities tracked him down to a motel 140 miles away in Augusta, where he's now awaiting extradition back to Hall County. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn has been following this manhunt from the very beginning. He's live in our newsroom. So, Cody, you actually have some new video showing Thurmond being walked out in handcuffs.
Yes, and you can imagine it was a phone call Tia Keith's father has been waiting for. It's been 7 long days, but this afternoon he got the news. The man accused of taking his daughter's life was finally captured. Now, this is Tia Keith, is a well-known and very talented braider and loctician across the metro. Her family says Tia was someone who brought joy to about every situation. and was hardly ever seen without a smile. And this is the moment the man accused of stealing that joy from her family and friends was captured this afternoon in Augusta. The FBI, GBI, and Richmond County Sheriff's Office tracked Antwane Thurmond to this Motel 6 on Wrightsboro Road. He was alone when the SWAT team busted down his door and put him in cuffs. Now, this comes exactly 1 week tonight after he's accused of following Tia to a convenience store here on Mountain View Road, just outside Oakwood, where investigators say he got inside her SUV while she ran into the store. When Tia walked out and got into her vehicle, the sheriff's office says Thurmond started shooting her. Now, Tia managed to fight back. She escaped that SUV, ran inside, but Thurmond chased after her, and the sheriff's office says he continued shooting her inside the store. Tia died on scene and Thurmond took off. Again, his run of freedom ended tonight. In the coming days, he'll be brought back to Hall County, where he'll officially be charged with malice murder, which in Georgia makes him eligible for the death penalty if the DA decides to consider it.
All right, Cody, thanks a lot for the update. We really appreciate that.
Thursday, July 23rd. Exactly 1 week to the day since he pulled that trigger. 4:10 in the afternoon. Thurmond gets found, alone, in a motel room on Wrightsboro Road in Augusta, Georgia. That's roughly 140 miles from where he left her. Reports point to a Motel 6, or Studio 6, near 3421 Wrightsboro Road. Richmond County Sheriff's Special Response Teams move in, take him into custody. No shots. No struggle. Hall County investigators were already on the ground in Augusta when it happened. The FBI's Safe Streets Task Force, the GBI, Georgia's Department of Community Supervision, Richmond County Sheriff's Office, and their gang unit, all of them had a hand in closing this out. He's held first at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Not clear if Augusta added charges of their own, but the plan was simple. Get him back to Hall County and get him in front of a judge on malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault under the Family Violence Act. As of now, there's been no trial, no plea, no public motive. The court process is still ahead. Tia Keith's family didn't want the story to end on that bathroom floor. They wanted people to remember who she was, a business owner, a daughter who made her daddy proud, a woman who built something out of nothing and gave people around her a reason to smile in her chair. Power. Family friend Tracy Mize said it best. The hurt from this reached all through Gainesville, touched everybody who knew her. Her funeral drew that same community together in early August, all of them holding on to the same thing. Not how she died, but how she lived. This case sits in a category too many families know. A relationship that ended, followed by violence that didn't stay in the past. It's a reminder that X doesn't always mean safe. And it's why resources like the National Domestic Violence Hotline exist, for anyone watching this who sees pieces of their own story in hers. Tia Keith didn't get to finish her plan, but for 1 week, an entire community, police, family, strangers online, refused to let the man who took her from them just disappear.